So today I wanted to take a quick look at the low-budget feature Deranged, which was released in 1973. The film is also known by the title Deranged, The Life of a Necrophile, which I guess if you're going for sensationalism probably does work, especially if you do say it in some fancy announcer voice, but I'm a female, my voice can do only so much. So the film is somewhat based on the life of Ed Gein, and was originally released by American International Pictures. In 2002, the film was also re-released by MGM as part of the Midnight Movie series, and in 2007, the film received a German release, which was the 30th anniversary. This was actually an unrated version and features a few different documentaries about the making of the film as well as Ed Gein. It's also an unrated version, so we also do feature a brain scooping scene, which I actually would have liked to have seen. That seems kind of a jip compared to the American version. Obviously, the film opens, we have the narrator or the criminologist type character, which was very typical for that day. Obviously claims the film was 100% true and that they haven't altered any occurrences whatsoever, which is absolute bull, because if it's a film, you always have to hype things up and make things a bit prettier, right? So either way, the main character, Ezra, is a total mama's boy, lives at home on the farm with his mother. She eventually does pass away, which to me is very funny because he's trying to feed her and she's complaining about this pain. We have absolutely no idea what is wrong with her, and all of a sudden we have blood that's just gushing out of her mouth for no reason whatsoever, and he's just scooping it up off her chin and trying to shove it back in there like it's supposed to help her live. I'm sorry, I don't think it really works that way, but it was definitely made me laugh. So he manages to go a year without mommy. Eventually he does hear voices, becomes convinced that she was still alive, so he digs her back up, brings her back home, and takes on the task of restoring her. Anything from using wax to fish skin or anything that he thinks might resemble human flesh. It's actually pretty pathetic. Eventually he does get the bright idea from his neighbors, who he has hired out as a handyman since he no longer farms the land that he lives on. So he starts combing the obituaries, looking for some parts that he may be able to utilize. Eventually, it isn't long before he does move on to living victims. One of the women, which Ezra told him that he could trust because she was fat, he eventually does pay her a visit. They hold some odd type of a seance, just trying to, I guess, try to be the original Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore ghost scene. Apparently that wasn't working, so she obviously tries to sham him into sleeping with her because apparently her husband's ghost told her to. So of course, since he was warned against women very sternly by his mother to avoid women at all costs, and that women are nothing but whores and carry disease, so Ezra kills her, obviously uses the parts he needs, and she becomes a companion for Ezra's dead mother. This does go on for a time. We eventually do run across a young lady who is a friend of the family that Ezra works for. He obviously takes a liking to her. Unfortunate for her, I guess sometimes it just doesn't pay to be young and pretty. But then again, Fatty wasn't young and pretty either, so if you have usable parts, I suppose. Don't really know how that business works. Anywho, Ezra decides that he wants to use this woman for parts. So eventually, visiting her at the farm store that she does work at, he shoots her. Miraculously, she does not die. She attempts to escape, gets caught in a bear trap, and Ezra is ultimately caught as the young woman is seen dangling from a barn door, just sort of hung up like meat, which technically by that point she technically was. Or if you're total skis, you pretty much see women as meat anyway, so that's pretty redundant. It is a fairly quick movie, very simple story, fast paced. There are a lot of goofy, low budget movie moments which you can definitely turn and laugh at, but all in all it was fairly enjoyable. It's a low budget movie, so there isn't too much to be expected from, but I would say definitely give it a watch. It was definitely very fun just to kick back and laugh at, so I will leave you to it, and I will see you when I see you.